I'm going to hook the water pump up, but I have some questions, especially for any of you out there that know about electrics or wire gauge or anything like this. This pump comes with a special two-prong deal, which unless you own the Audi car, you're not going to have one. But what I found is I've taken a couple of speaker leads which will fit. I'm going to use one here for positive and the other for negative. Okay, but you can see the wire is pretty thin right there. This other one that I dug up, it's got the same kind of fitting, which is what I want. I will put the fitting on one or the other, and then I'll run them through this insulating sleeve right here. The question I have for anyone out there is, do you think that having such a small wire for either the ground or the power lead, will that affect the power of the fuel pump? In other words, would a bigger diameter wire help with the working of the fuel pump? If not, then I'm just going to keep, this wire is pretty long here. I'm going to just use one end of this because the other one's too wide. But I'll use one connector and I'll just connect this up before I put the pump on and have to get down on my hands and knees and play around with all the rest of the stuff. So if there's anyone out there that knows anything about wiring and wiring size, let's see if I can see if there. Look at that, made in Germany. Now that's what I want to hear. Made in Germany. It's 12 volt, but I'm looking for like ohms and watts and things like that, and I don't see any. Alright, that's going on next. Also the hose is going on next for the intake and the egress. This is your intake side, this is your egress or emptying side. The hoses down here have been connected with, I may tighten this up just slightly. You do not want to get your other wires connected in to this bundle with your hoses. There's a separate channel here and here that holds your rear brake wire, your ignition wire, and your throttle cable. You want to keep all those right where they're supposed to be, because Honda designed it to be that way. And if you start messing with putting things in different places, the problem that we have is that when you go to turn, suppose you have the bike on and you go to turn the handle like this, okay, the throttle cable, which is right here, will pinch or something somewhere, and the bike will start to accelerate wildly, which doesn't really do you a lot of good, can cause a lot of problems down the road. So happy Memorial's Day. I have to work on it, and I've just got through a long week of doing all my work with a bunch of really interesting people. And it's probably 8 o'clock at night and it could rain here, but it hasn't started to rain yet. What are you doing over there? She looks for squirrels. I call her Mrs. Waddles because she's so damn fat. She's even got fat on her jowls. Okay, Operation Dio is getting closer, and we're up to about 300 videos now, and there'll be probably 200 more. But in the end, you'll see this bike go from frame up to hopefully a real kick-ass deal. And then any of you young people out there around the world that have never done this before can look at these videos and maybe find some advice or help from this lone old man in the woods that likes playing with these little things. Alright.